Hi, my name is Christian Herr, and the topic of my research is the benefits and challenges of Agile project management and filmmaking. Agile project management is such an important methodology in modern project management, especially in the IT and software engineering industries. So for my research, I wanted to know how this approach could be applied to filmmaking. I've heard of the term so many times throughout my life, and I've read about it and know some things about it, but I had never really worked on a large-scale project that would utilize the Agile approach. As a programmer myself, I had developed my own applications and mobile apps. Even though these are quite small projects, I had seen the benefits and challenges of using Agile approach to complete those projects. And the benefits came in usually during the development phase, in which I encountered issues with the project, and I wanted to modify the outcome of the program. And using the Agile approach, I could just easily tweak my codes and replace any graphics, and that usually resolved my issues. The challenges were more on the graphics side of things, because even though the functionality was there, the visual components could actually pose a problem. So that was my personal experience. I'm also an indie filmmaker, and I had worked on a few self-funded feature film projects in the past. I had never really thought about how an Agile project or Agile approach could fit into the process. But now I realize that on a high level, the Agile approach could be a perfect fit for, filmmaking, because a movie, as we know, is never really filmed in a sequential order. So using the waterfall method, I think it would be disastrous, because there are so many variables involved that would limit the filming process. Instead, an Agile approach would seem best, because each scene or act is filmed in no particular order. Sometimes the beginning and ending scenes were filmed on the same location on the same day. So you're actually killing two birds with one stone here, as the saying goes. So in my personal experience with filmmaking, the main challenge then is making sure that every scene would match up in the end. So I hypothesized that the benefits and challenges for using an Agile approach would be suitable for filmmaking. And during my research, I have come across two really good questions about Agile projects, which I thought would support my hypothesis. And the first question is concerning the management of Agile projects. How is it really managed? And I found that the best answer to this question is really understanding how the Scrum model works. So the Scrum model is comprised of three key elements. The first key element is a product owner. The PO is mainly responsible for the business aspects of the project. The second element is a Scrum Master, whose role is the team's coach, basically. He or she is the main contact person throughout the whole project and runs the show. And the third key element is the team itself. So the team is extremely important, because they assume the Agile project management roles, which means that they are responsible for collaborating with other team members to ensure that all the goals are met. The second question I asked was, are Agile projects scalable, as the term suggests? And the answer is absolutely. Even with a team as many as 1,000 people, this would fit in perfectly well with filmmaking, because a film project usually involves hundreds and thousands of people, so I don't see how that could be a problem. And so my next curiosity is about the major benefits of Agile projects, and why do Agile projects can be so flexible and scalable. What I found were these four very interesting graphs, which outline the main benefits of Agile project management in comparison to the traditional approach. Agile is known for its method of getting the work done that really matters. As shown here, the major benefits include visibility of project details, increased in team efficiency or the business values, ability to adapt to changes, and ability to scale. And I can see how these are major benefits, because as a large project is broken down into smaller components, then each individual process is much easier to maintain, and the sprint or the iteration processes would help keep everyone stay focused. So no, the benefits are great, but what about the challenges? So I also want to find out what the challenges are for Agile project management, and they include a few, but I'm just going to list 4 of them. The first one here is that there could be a misunderstanding of the Agile and its methodologies, which could potentially lead to team burnout due to perhaps maybe some type of irrational culture of urgency during those many iterations. A second challenge is that Agile is not a silver bullet. This means that Agile can be overhyped, which means, again, that could also lead to unrealistic expectations, and that is a major challenge as well. A third challenge is that when change comes so quickly, it could be very difficult to avoid any resistance from the stakeholders. And of course, you might have complications to the end user during the training process as well. So that's also a challenge. And finally, because Agile methods are not always process-oriented and they usually require very quick response to change, there's always the chance of a lack of documentation during the process. And that is one of the major issues that could lead to any challenges during the Scrum process. So in my finding, I think that an Agile approach is very beneficial in filmmaking. The Scrum model fits well, as the filming could be completed in iterations. There could be like weekly sprints or daily scrums, production reporting, and production release strategies. And this means that if something went wrong during one of the tapings, the production team could gather together and rework the schedule to fix those problems, and then get it all taken care of before they move on to the next set or the next taping. The challenges would be that when scenes don't line up because of incorrect props were used, or maybe you have some lighting issues, then those could be major issues which lead to a second type of challenge, and that is the repetition of retakes. Because one of the scenes may not match up with the previous scene, or when you stitch those scenes together, they don't work out together, then you would have to basically retake or reshoot those scenes, and that would take a lot of time, which lead to the third challenge, that is that you're running out of resources, and that could pose a really serious problem. So overall, I would highly recommend using an Agile approach to manage a filmmaking project.